Thank you very much for everyone, for the beautiful drummers and singers. We have a message for the drummers from the live stream internet. The message is Pidano, all nations drum drummers. Greetings, honor, and love from Uchi Wika Mazeska, Wichita, West Chile. So, and a couple other messages we'll read a little bit later.
Oh, Uchi,
Yeah, it's here.
we chop the mother star,
Yeah.
stay with
Yes, you can say it.
silver star.
Yes.
I said grandmother's silver star. Thank you.
It's a beautiful message from Grandmother Silverstar, who is online now with us. Thank you very much. So we're just all coming back from the dinner break, and we have one more speaker, Paola Paris, who is going to share a lot of really wonderful information with us. So Paola is an international journalist, and most of her work is done in Italy. And she reports predominantly on UFO and paranormal fields. And if Paola can come to the stage, we'd like to welcome her with a round of applause.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for being here, and I love Colorado, and I hope you do too, because it has an incredible And I know Golden Eagles, and I've heard it for years, yes. And I think it was 1999 when I did your conference up in South Dakota. I took a picture of you and Gene Holmes when you were doing the ceremony.
Yeah.
And do you remember that famous picture? And I think you were doing some kind of smudging because there was smoke over their heads, and in that picture, there is a very clear face of Native American, he's either a chief or one of your ancestors. It was very clear. So that picture went viral because I'm a journalist, so that picture went around the world. It was a very, very clear picture. And I miss Jean, I wish she was here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she had a vision that she might have fallen and got hurt herself, so she backed off.
Because these are wonderful people, these are people that move the energy. But I think that's in both work. I'm an international journalist that I'll tell you how I started my career in this weird field. I have a master's in education, and I was teaching in Boulder, Colorado, and it was in the 1970s, and I saw the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I don't know if you've seen that film. And at the end of the film, there was that famous scene where Francois Truffaut, who's really a director, played Jacques Vallée, and he had the encounters with the beings at Devil's Tower, Wyoming. By the way, you know that why Spielberg used Devil's Tower, don't you? That particular monument in Wyoming has the scratch marks of a bear on the side, and the bear was chasing the Seven Sisters, which are the Pleiades. So that's a Native American spiritual place. And so Spielberg, that has all this knowledge, used that film, used that place to have their program landing. Now, in those days, in the 1990s, I didn't know that was real. I didn't know there's been program landings. I didn't know any of that. But as I was teaching a class in Broomfield, Colorado, called Science Fiction, and I was very curious whether the film I had seen then was real. And then I saw that the man behind it, the consultant, was Dr. J. Allen Hynek, who had the Center for UFO Studies in Evanston, Illinois, and that he was a professor of astronomy at Northwestern, and he was a consultant on the film. So my thought was, I got to get to this guy and see if this is real. Is this real? Is this film that they're showing? Do we really have these kinds of visitations? And my whole life is one series of coincidences. And I was invited to a wedding in Evanston, Illinois, and what you know, I went into the Center for UFO Studies, never dreaming that he was there. Now, here, I don't know if I have a picture of him here in my presentation, but he has a cameo in the film. He's got the one beard, the pipe that he comes up, you know, with all the scientists, and he has the white, the pipe that he's smoking. And so when I went in there, he found out from the secretary that I spoke Italian and said, would you like to work with me? So I said, yes, of course. I said, you know, you're an astronomer. So from day one, it's not a matter of do you believe in UFOs. We got to stop using that language. It's not religion. Do you believe? It is fact. It is fact. It is documented. The people that document it are the military because they don't know what to do with all these craft, especially in Latin America. Latin American bases that they see all the time that they can't chase. So what happened at that time was that I worked with him for 6 years until he died of brain cancer in 1986. And I just did nuts and bolts. I did data collecting. So we're talking in the 80s, in the early 70s. We are way past data collecting today. Way past data collecting. Unfortunately, so what happened in 92, I moved back to Italy. I was born in Italy. My father was Italian consul for the state of Rhode Island. So I went back and he was dying of cancer. So I lived in Italy for 15 years and was able to work in a very serious environment for 15 years. I was a journalist that did all the whistleblower testimony. I did a lot of work that was field research. I moved back to the United States in 2007, and sadly I can tell you that the field here is more commercial. In other words, in Italy, when we have a UFO conference, like we had in Barcelona in 2009, there was 1,400 people there. We had Stephen Greer, Stephen Bassett, Brian O'Leary. I was the only woman there. It was called Time for Truth. And we had 1,400 people, which nobody wore a t-shirt, nobody wore tinfoil hats. and nobody did any of the silliness that I keep seeing here. Because even on Facebook, the imprint of the little gray alien on everything, even Christmas decorations, puts the field on a fringe level. And it is very, very important. Perhaps the visitations to this planet by all kinds of peoples, and of course the Native Americans know they're star peoples, because they have the truth from day one, and they don't have to commercialize it or wear t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is that what we have to do is understand that the idea that we are not alone is not, it's not unusual. It's from day one. It's from, if you watch Ancient Aliens on TV, if you understand that there are sites all over the world that are sacred, if you understand that some of these, the peoples that were in Latin America probably weren't from here, if you understand and you can connect these dots, it is probably the most important subject that we have just set aside. And as I said, when you have a conference in Europe with 1,400 people, and most of them are professors and astronomers and scientists, and they want to know. And it's not just to have, kind of a festive atmosphere, because I think I'm one of these people that calls the whole UFO field Disneyland. It is much more serious than that. So what I'm going to do, and I don't have time to do it because the presentation that I have is last minute, because this is kind of last minute. I want to recognize that I'm here because of Tara Power, who I was talking to on Facebook. I know her sister, Romina, and she was coming, so I said, I'll take you up there, and next thing you know, I'm speaking. So that's how I'm here. But the thing is that I would like to just give you a little taste. I'm going to give you a little taste of the presentation that I do everywhere in the world, which is the visitation of the human-type aliens in the 50s and 60s, okay? Because in the 50s and 60s, during the Cold War era, in the 50s and 60s, when we had just discovered the power of the atomic bomb, we had people coming off ships from other planets that we have proof of. In California, we had George Van Tassel. I'm going to name the people, but there are books around these people, and I don't have time to go into it. We had George Van Tassel, who was a gentleman who had worked for, I think it was Lockheed Martin in California, who had rented an airstrip near Giant Rock Joshua Tree. And a craft landed there, a man came out and came over to him and under Giant Rock, which is a sacred site near Southern California, and said, "You want to see my craft?" And George Van Tassel went inside the craft, and then consequently he went on television and radio explaining that the space people were here. The thing that's amazing, I'm going to talk about it really fast because I'll show you the photos, is that when George Van Tassel in the 1950s, 57, explained this, people in California, like Norman Paulson, like Howard Hughes, like all those people knew that this was happening. And George Van Tassel not only got messages, and the messages were there to say, you people don't live long enough because of your diet, you live longer than you, and also there's a way that you can survive the problems in this planet. Be careful with the nuclear power that you just discovered. So what did these people do? They told George Van Tassel to create the Integratron, which is now, I don't know how many people have seen it in Landers, California. I'm going to show it to you really quickly. It doesn't have one nail in it. It had Tesla coils around it, and it was supposed to be a rejuvenation chamber, but what you don't know is that it was financed by Howard Hughes. And so all this was happening in the 50s on the East Coast. In High Ridge, New Jersey, we had Howard Menger, who was a sign painter, and the whole Howard Menger contact story of the Venusians that came to visit him is very, very amazing, because he had, as a boy, 10 years old, had met the Venusian woman in the forest. Nobody does any research in the past. These are people. They're not little creatures running around. And they came down to Howard Adventure and they said, we would like to tell you we're here, and we would like to help you because you are, a very pivotal point in your history. And the thing about Howard Adventure, that's probably as far as I'll get in this presentation, is that at that time in Highbridge, the FBI knew this was happening with Howard, and they were present during the landings. The name of the book is From Outer Space to You. You can see pictures of craft. Up close and personal, Howard took movies of them. Then he was invited to work at Colorado Springs by the government because they also gave him the propulsion system. What is important about the From Outer Space to You book is the last 30 pages is how to keep your blood alkaline, because you can live longer. And one of the things that these beings said they were from Venus, I don't know if they were really from Venus, but they said they were from Venus. So the thing is that the ones that came to Van Tassel in Joshua Tree, the ones that went to Howard Adventure, said they were Venusians. The thing is really interesting is that they are all vegetarian. And we had a case in Italy in 1957 called the Friendship Case. There's just so much here that's frustrating for me to tell you, that remember the word friendship case, go on Google it. We had some beings that were almost 10 feet tall doing an experiment with 10 Italians in the town of Pescara, Italy. Now that the people are 90 years old, most of them have died off, the friendship cases come to light. They also made a deal with the 10 Italians to kind of integrate with them and see if they could live together. And they were also vegetarians. In fact, Gasperi di Lama, that dealt with this, said that the way that they were able to help these beings, plus the fact they had to make special beds for them, they put them in this castle named Rocca Pia in the Pescara coast. And there's photos and there's movies. And it did happen in 1956. Is they were able to bring in huge truckloads of vegetables, and they would take the driver to the cafe, the bar, which is not a liquor bar, in Italy, it's a coffee bar. And by the time he finished his coffee, the truck was empty because the stuff was teleported out of it. Now, the intimate stories of what happened in the Amicizia or friendship case is in Timothy Good's book. I interviewed all the people because I speak Italian, so I was there first. Then Timothy Good came. He's probably the best researcher in the world because he's a field researcher like me, he goes to the places, and he found out that this was real, that some of the people were still alive, that these beings said very clearly, we can stay among you. We have a technology called Urega, which is a technology of harmony. We can stay among you as long as you don't fight. The minute you start arguing and fighting, you disrupt the whole technology and we have to leave. So after about 9 years of this experiment, it happened that the people who were there would argue about who saw who, why didn't they tell them, and so forth. And being human, it started to dissipate. It was an experiment. Sometimes I think even the visitations here are an experiment because this planet is very interesting. It is a planet of free will. A lot of the cosmic cultures have a collective consciousness where they do what's good for everybody. We don't do that. We have a choice. And so the Amicizia case, if you're interested in this, happened in 1956. The very last case I'll talk about, because we had our own Adamski, is Georgia Adamski, which is real. I met Desmond Leslie, Sir Desmond Leslie, who wrote the book on flying saucers and landed. I met him when I brought from Philip Corso, Italy. Philip Corso wrote the book the day after Roswell. It turned my life upside down because I was the only journalist to deal with him. Because he explained why the secret is secret. I always thought the secret was secret because of the babies. It's not secret because of the babies. It's secret because when you have crash saucers starting in 1945, you're not going to throw the technology in the trash. And we haven't. And we learned that those beings don't use gas and oil. and they use free energy, and we can't, this planet can't release the free energy until every drop of petroleum oil has been used. So Carso told me what he had from the Roswell crash, and he told me that the last one alive was to tell the truth, and he was 82 years old. He wrote the book, and then we brought him to Italy, and we found out a lot more, because he gave us the autopsies of the beings, and what they are is little clones. We've got a whole mythology and ufology around extraterrestrial biological beings that are clones. That isn't who the beings are. The star people are the beings. Those little clones that you see as a stamp here, especially in the United States, of ET, are just the little worker bees. That is who flies the ship. And that is really interesting because that comes from a colonel who worked at the Pentagon on Research and Development. Okay, he told us this. He said, we were worried about them. He said, we knew they were created in the laboratory. We were worried about the people that made them because we were worried that they would walk among us in the Pentagon and we wouldn't recognize them. So I've given you in a nutshell what this presentation is about. I'm going to go through all the photos now and see if I can stay within the time limit. What did I do with my clock? Right, because I don't want to go over. Yeah, so over here. I have 4 books in English, Connecting the Dots, Exopolitics, Gateway to a New Phenomenon, and they're all on Amazon. One is in Spanish and 4 in Italian, so I may be able to show that here. I write for a magazine in Italy called X Times. There is no magazine in the United States that has serious articles, so I have to send them all to Europe. X Times is like People Magazine. You can buy it across the You can buy it everywhere. What I've done recently, because I've graduated from Nuts and Bolts, is I've got into consciousness studies, so I have taken over the Lachlan Conference. The 3rd year I'm going to be doing it. That's why you see the postcard, and you'll see it on my website. And I have all foreign people and people that are working on consciousness study. I know there's conspiracy theory. I know about what's happening. Of course, I've interviewed half of them. And so I know that NASA hides things. I've been there. My books have all whistleblowers in them. They have military people in them. I know that. But for me, that's not going to raise the vibration. What's going to raise the vibration is the message the ETs give us, which is grow. In the 3rd grade, and we can't have a conversation with you unless you evolve in consciousness. So anything I do that's stamped Paula Harris has the next consciousness component. Because I want to see in my lifetime that we have passed a certain level, and it's not just entertainment. That they are, these people from all over are here to help us. One of the books that it talks about this is Gerard Arsten. I brought him from the Netherlands to Laughlin this year. The book is Here to Help, and he talks about the human type ETs. Here is a document that Alan Hynek gave me. It says, the UFO Phenomenon Lab Study. I have to remember that because there's Alan Hynek. There he is at NCAR with me, and very young Paula Harris in 1980. I belonged to his interview. I never did that kind of field research where I'm digging up dirt and doing that kind of thing. I ended up interviewing people. But that is Alan Hynek, and he is, I told you, he was the guy who walks out in the cameo role in Close Encounters. Very close friend of Dr. Edgar Mitchell. Dr. Edgar Mitchell, 6th man to walk on the moon, Apollo 14, has been trying to open the doors, was with him at the Washington Press Club. If a man who walks on the moon goes to the Washington Press Club and says, Roswell is real, will you please get a clue and open up the files, and nobody does anything, it's not the government's fault, it's ours. Because we know he's done what he's supposed to do, and he has tried, and you can go online and see all his movies. So I ended up in South America. These are the South Americans I'm dealing with right now. When Paul Hellyer, the former Defense Minister of Canada, had his 90th birthday, he flew me up to Canada, and I was at his 90th birthday, and he had all these ex-ministers there, and he said, Paula, they're all laughing at me. He said, can you say 5 minutes of something? And I said, you just told me, just like here, I wasn't prepared. It's like, okay, but he said, 5 minutes is all you have. And so I looked at all these people at his birthday party and I said, can you tell me what's funny about 10 Minuteman missiles being shut down in 1969 at Malmstrom Air Force Base on 2 occasions when they were pointing at Russia because it was the Cold War and could have started World War III. And in Russia, those missiles were activated by ETs, by UFOs. The Malmstrom Air Force Base case is in the Blue Book files. Russia, after the perestroika, confessed that their missiles were activated. Can you imagine what could have happened if those missiles had come this way? What happened there? I talked to Robert Salas, who you see on the screen. He was the actual officer in the bunker, and I said, Robert, what happened? He said, well, all the soldiers up on top were scared to death because this big orange orb was over their heads, and they were freaked out. And I said, what happened to you? And he said, in my head, the message came, we can't shut you down. And I said, you got that message? He said, yeah. He said, this is so important, he said, because it changed my whole view of how dangerous our discovery of the nuclear power and our arms are. It changed my whole view. And his book is called Beta Giant. There's all the different UFOs. This is what we have here. This is the United States. You can't get any serious astronomer or anybody to really come into a conference where you have statues or t-shirts or anything like this going on. That is Roswell, by the way. Very quickly, I was very close friends with Dr. John Mack, who came to my apartment in Rome and talked to me, Harvard University professor, dealt with contact, and Monsignor Corrado Balducci, with whom I spoke, represented the Vatican at the time, called the ETs our brothers and sisters, said they were much more evolved than we were the bottom of the barrel. Our children, you see, these are human children. This is an actual photograph of a Clarion child given to me, to Polaroid, by Mauricio Cavallo, a contactee who lives near the French Alps. He took it aboard ship. This girl is not human. She has right here years bigger than anybody else. This is a long story how I did this story. It was a 2-year story. He gave me the Polaroids of the beings after I was with him for at least 4 times. I went there, stayed in the hotel, and interviewed her. Okay, here's George Van Tassel. There is Giant Rock before it split. There is the Integratron I just talked about. Tesla coils. It had a twofold purpose. One, to rejuvenate your cells, and second one was supposed to be a time machine. If you're ever in Landers, California, please go. It's very interesting. It's still there. They took out the Tesla coils. These are the early contactees that none of my colleagues ever talk about because we're so wrapped up in the abduction little gray alien thing that we can't go backwards and see that we were visited by people from space. There's George Adamski, Van Tassel is there, and these books that came out. Physicist, White Sands, Daniel Fry, he had a contact at White Sands, New Mexico, did a very fast trip to New York because they told him to get aboard the ship. Founded a group called Understanding in New Mexico. This is the 1950s. There's Giant Rock today. These are the books of the 50s. I had to read every one, and then I had to go see who's still alive to do this research. Howard Manger in High Bridge, New Jersey. There's Howard Manger. There's the woman he saw. Howard Manger, his wife is still alive, 91 years old. Nobody's doing research on this. Howard Menger met these people. He even had to cut their hair because in the 50s, it was not the hippie days, and you bring them close so that they could be, there's some of the Menger pictures of the group coming in the ships. What you're seeing for the first time, because it belongs to the Wendell Stevens archive, is Howard with his arm around one of these people that only appears as light. And these are Howard Menger photos of these people that can, and he's there with Connie, having his picture taken back in the 50s with old, the old black and white film. Those are fruits they gave him and told him to analyze them. Because I have access to the Wendell Stevens archive, I've got the name of the laboratories those fruits went into, the name of them in New Jersey, because he wanted them analyzed. This is real stuff. This isn't science fiction. Howard Menger, because of the pressure put on him, because he became very sought after, denied his story, so none of my colleagues bothered to even go there. But in 1969, at the University of Colorado, during the Condon Committee report, there's Howard Menger talking to Joseph Condon with his wife, showing him his book. So he's not going to be the University of Colorado, which did the whitewash on UFOs, unless it was real. And he's got his book there. He's showing Joseph Condon. These pictures, by the way, have never been seen before. They belong to the Wendell Stevens archive. This is the history of ufology the way it is. Now, really quickly, because I don't know how much, I have about 15 minutes. The interesting story about Howard Menger, I'm going to get a little bit to the Italian case too, because I want you to see the photograph of the alien in the Italian case, is that Howard would give lectures in his backyard there in Highbridge, and the book Stranger in the Pentagon, if you've never read it, you should read it, because there was certain things you can do, because we live to be at least 400 to 500 years old. And the response that was given to Balfour was, no, it is part of our economic structure. The pharmaceuticals, everything that happens, whether it be free energy, is part of an institution that would completely collapse if we changed our lifestyle. He was told that. And so I was interested in this because here's Howard Menger, the contactee that meets the Venusians, but who's sitting in his backyard? And there's a letter from the photographer. Howard called Augie Roberts, who's famous UFO photographer, and he said, look, you come to my house this afternoon. There are going to be 3 space people sitting there. Well, Augie Roberts, and I have the tape where he's talking to Wendell Stevens, went to Howard Menger's backyard, and he looked at all the people, tried to be innocuous while he was taking pictures, and found these 3, the woman and the 2 guys. The guy that has the notes is Balfour. The guy next to him is his brother Don, and the woman that's overdressed is Jill. They're absolutely beautiful people. They are not from here. Here they are in color, and Val is taking notes. These are August Roberts' pictures. He tried not to let them know he was taking pictures of them because he wasn't told which ones they were. And from my research, even from Advanced times, the beings want to mix in with us, but what they do is overdress. They wear suits. And we don't wear suits anymore, and suits don't belong in this picture, but anyway, they're overdressed, as you can see, because even in Adamski, if you talk to Glenn Steckling and read all the Adamski material, the beings would travel with him. They were good-looking young people, and they had suits on, and they would travel with George during his lectures in Europe. Here's Balfour, there's Jill, and there's Don. Could they mix with us? Would you know the difference? This is really interesting because we were trying to decipher what Val was writing, and this is what we got. Now, the ship was cloaked, but it was on Lake Mead, so I went to Lake Mead in Nevada because in Frank Strange's book, he's got an X exactly where that chip was. And Frank Strange's actually met Val Thor. And that's what the book is about. Really quickly, then I'll go to the Italian case, because I don't have time to tell you everything about these human visitations. I was invited to Colombia, Bogota last year. And I'm doing the same presentation in front of all these Colombian people. And so one of the researchers comes up to me and says, well, Paula, we had a situation like that in 1971. And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, we had in our Ecuadorian embassy in Peru, this guy walked in, he said he was a commander of a ship, his name is Vanju. And I said, well, are the people still alive? And he said, yeah. I said, I got to talk to him. And he showed me a video he had done where he interviewed the people. Vanju walks into the Ecuadorian embassy. He says, I am the commander of a ship. And they said, what kind? And he says, come outside and I'll show you. And the craft was over the embassy. This is real. And they said to him, you know, we could arrest you. And we can put you in jail. And he said, you have to listen to what I'm telling you. You're going to have an earthquake in about 2 years. A small town that has 45,000 people, the top of the mountain's going to fall on the town. He says, move everybody out of that town because we've seen this already. Vanju was coming back and forth to the embassy for 3 years to talk to them. They had documents. They didn't take pictures of him because he walked out and he disappeared. They tried to follow him around the corner. I saw the video. And do you think they moved the 45,000 people? No. The earthquake happened, the top of the mountain fell, and killed all the people. Do these people come and try to help? Do these people, but they're in South America. There's Vanju here, and that is only a characterization of him. And there we have Val Thor, who is telling Eisenhower about the way we live. And this is my expedition with the last survivor down to Giant Rock, and that's where Romina came. She came with me during this period of time. There's the rock, there's the group that came with me. And I've got to go really fast, but what we did was have the last survivor of the group during the 50s do a channeling there, and while we were doing the channeling, that happened during broad daylight. So we were able, because what the message was the end of separation. I have the actual verbal message that they channeled. And this happened 2 years ago, it was 2014, because I'm so interested in this. And I'm going to go right there, George Adamski. Orthon comes out, this is in Desert Center, California. He leaves a shoe print, which George Chuck Williamson takes a cast of, so this is not science fiction. My own colleagues have bashed George Adamski from day one, and George Adamski got the message. This is the message. You're at a crossroads in your history where you can make an economy of going out into outer space. You will meet us, and in the economy, you will make a lot of money because there'll be spin-offs from the rockets and from the commerce of going outer space. Or, this is the crossroads, you'll have a war economy, but guess what? You're going to have to create the wars. So you do the space thing, you can meet us, there's a lot of money involved because this is the money planet. You've already started a war economy, but to keep that going, you have to create the wars. So go there with your mind. And so guess where we chose? But George Adamski, who's buried in Arlington National Cemetery, went to every king and queen. He went to Pope John the 23rd. He went everywhere, and it wasn't for entertainment. It was to give them the message. So there he is. Those are the Adamski craft. There's actual movies of these craft. There I am with the man that wrote the book. He looks really good looking. He was an RAF pilot when he started. That's Desmond Leslie, who's no longer with us. So, and this is the Adamski person this is Glenn Steckley, who knew Adamski, who saw the beings walk into his father's house with Adamski. They were people. They were regular people. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here. This is Antonio Uzzi, who lives in Milano, who is filming UFOs over his apartment in Milano almost monthly. So they didn't go anywhere. These are Uzzi footage. And I talk to Lucy all the time. So what I'd like to do, I can't do this case, Billy Meyer, I want to see Billy Meyer. They were Pleiadians. The townspeople saw the craft. I questioned if that was all real. There's Wendell Stevens, God bless him, before he died, one of the greatest researchers. He did the Billy Meyer case. He was Colonel Wendell Stevens. So yeah, this is Billy Meyer. I mean, anything that I ever say or is in my books, I have lived. I've gone there. I've stayed there. So really quickly, when we had Adamski, we had on the island of Sicily, Eugenio Siracusa, who also met these people. Eugenio Siracusa had the same message. And guess where that letter comes from? That is a letter from President Eisenhower to Eugenio Siracusa telling him he'll do his best to change the paradigm. So, I mean, these are facts not known, and this is what's visiting us. These are what I want to show you the Amicizia case because I got to go through this very quickly. By the way, that's who Maurizio Cavalli showed you, the little girl who his contact looks like that. And I've heard the areas coming out of the ship. So these are some of the Maurizio Cavallo Polaroids he showed me of the people. They're people. And here's Timothy Good. This is, if I had to recommend one book, buy it. This is called Earth, an Alien Enterprise. It's got the Amicizia case. It's got Adamski. It's got everybody I mentioned. This is the Amicizia case. The being, there's the people, the being looks like this. This is Kenyo. They didn't know what to name these people, so they named them W-56s. Kenyo is over 9 feet tall. The people that met these people, I mean, he looks like one of us. He's even wearing a flowered shirt. And the thing is that what you have to understand is that you cannot, and this is what I'm going to leave you with, because I've been working on this for 3 years now. And every time I turn around, whether it's Bogota, Colombia, with Banju or anything, I'm getting more and more stories of the real story. I don't think that the powers that be want you having coffee with these people. They don't want you connecting with these people. So what we do is paint the UFO whole thing as these little creatures are the extraterrestrial biological entities because they create fear in the hearts of men, and then you won't even want to connect. But just in general, my work, and you can go on my website, is all in Latin America right now. And what I've learned is that you can't really have a dialogue with evolved peoples from different places because they are evolved. All you can have is a connection of consciousness, which means a heart connection with them. And they're alive, you're alive, you have a connection with them. And the people, for me, that have the biggest hearts are the people in Latin America. And that's why they're having contact, even today. Thank you very much for your attention. You can go on my website and learn about this.
Paola Harris, can we have another round of applause? Paola? We've had such an incredible day of, actually 3 days of speakers and performers and artists and energizers and wisdom keepers and visionaries. We're coming to the close, but we have a very, very exciting couple of events. So we're going to take a 5-minute break, and we're going to get ready for a concert, which is going to be phenomenal. A lot of music that will be happening, and then we'll have a final closing ceremony. So for those of you online, joining us online, please stay with us, and we're just going to take a short break, set up the room, and then we'll be ready to go. Thank you. stuff will remove it. I kind of like to.
Okay. Throw 'em off.
You don't need a big circle.
Yeah.
What you said, yes, dear. Ah, I remember that. Yes, dear.
Can you help us right now? Just go outside. Wait.
He needs. This needs to go somewhere.
We're just positioning the camera.
Sorry. Jump, jump, dance. Woo!
Table.
I'm not gonna do this.
Just like a again.
Yes, those are next.
We'll wait till they're ready.
Who's making the tape
Just
ball?
relax. Just relax.
Yeah, yeah. Got it.
Relax. If you don't want to relax, I'll give you something to do.
I am relaxed, sir.
Okay.
Oh, you done. Is that camera, are we gonna be using that on camera?
Yeah, we're gonna put it over here.
It's all yours, Bob. Uh-oh, glasses. Are they yours? Oh. You didn't want it anyway.
That's why I just use it.
I take mine off my face, that's it. I always remember the crap.
Let this out.
Huh?
Let this out there.
Put it right over there.
Yeah.
Or right over there. Yeah. Watch the cords. Would you be able to move on stage? The cord on stage above everybody's head.
Where do you want the drum? Yeah. I don't, I still don't know. Jim doesn't seem too interested in
Who?
Jim, do you want to lead the drum and I'll dance? Do we have to have all the equipment out here tonight?
No. But we gotta do it just to be ready, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hang on to this. I'm just go on that a little bit.
We in the industry call this tug it out. Tug it out.
Okay,
Got it.
pull it out.
You go in this bag.
Yeah, you could throw it in there. And it's here. I think this case is being
I didn't do it.
Okay. Oh, I hope we didn't unplug the.
This got unplugged.
Huh?
This got unplugged.
Okay. Yeah. But
Probably not good.
okay. Oh, no, no, you can don't unplug this one.
Sure.
This one here. Oh, this one, don't unplug this one.
Yeah, I lifted it up.
Yeah, leave that
Get
one.
out. When it's delivered, leave it.
Yeah, leave that one to the side over that way. So don't unplug that one.
We'll make that too.
Yes, can you pull that piece? Pull and lock. That way. Yeah. This one? Yeah, I think that's the last one. Thank you. Sweet. You're such an angel. Of course.
Yeah. Oh, nice. We're almost done. Oh, quick. We're just now doing my robot self. Oh, good. Well, that was-
Hi, kids, Zach.
Yep, you're back.
All right, ladies, looks like we're a little bit halfway. That's what I have later. Child. Like, I shared with information about the.
Oh,
How about screen? Yeah. Okay, like in a week and a day. What's your date? Oh, December 30th? Good night. For the 6th.
Yes, you're sad.
Well, yeah, we're saying, well, look under the 13th constellation dates under Google and you'll get it.
Can I help you?
Well, your family.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he's got it all ordered, so I don't even know if it's just there, but like, it's very. So other. Yeah. So, you know.
But if there's something like that,
yeah. Okay. All right, girls. No, that's theirs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to do that to yourself. Six pack.
I knew you were out there somewhere.
This is what I've been using to ground out all this crazy energy that kept knocking the computer off. Oh, it's so helpful. I carry it with me for some weird reason. Beautiful. I love it. I have four because I have to have one for every direction. Pull out the bigger. Because
Okay, because you already stacked it on top. Okay, cool.
Is that on top?
Okay.
You can see they're not green.
No, still.
We're gonna give you the mic. So you wanna put the mic in?
We need to do this much.
Huh? Who? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, yeah.
You know, we're a bunch of kids.
Yeah, just kidding. Still nice. If you want to.
That was really because I heard. Well, yeah, but we.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah, I know.
talks.
Oh, you didn't have the rest?
Come on, I'll have a race with you.
Okay. Oh, this is. That's yours.
That's mine.
You need this on here?
I'm good, thank you though.
No, your computer.
Nah, I'm just gonna drum it up for myself.
Huh?
No, thank you.
Are you sure you just wanna
Yeah, I'm
set it
just
down?
gonna squat.
Yeah. You'll be all right.
Me and my almost 50 years old one day.
Just in case your arms get tired. There you go.
Here.
Good evening, everyone. It's been such a great conference. So happy everyone's here. We start off with a song on the drums. Drummers, you guys want to sing a song first? And then we'll go right into, we're going to do a group toning after we do the song and then we'll start. So I kind of want this to be kind of like a group ceremony and kind of like just vibing it out. I don't know, does anyone feel anything? Feel it and sing it. We're gonna start off with Tony and then go into some mantras, like all this kind of stuff. If anyone feels anything, and it's moved in the moment, just to. So, let's have some Tony.
Put that in there, Mayor. That mic in it.
Okay.
Diva, 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 Shiva, 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 Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho, Shambho. Mahadeva, Shambho. Mahadeva, Shambho, Shambho. Mahadeva, Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Mahadeva, Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho.
I'd like to share a very simple mantra. It's a mantra from Mother Earth. And if you like to touch the earth when you were singing it, it's very, very simple. It's just Om and Gaia. And it's like this, it's on Om Gaia, Om Gaia, Om Gaia. Om Gaia, Om Gaia, Om Gaia, Om Gaia, Om Gaia, Om Gaia. How's everybody feeling? Everyone looks very, very relaxed and toned. Thank you all for joining in. I'm really feeling like we should do this early. Can we do the fire song together? I really like this song. Can you start us out?
So, at this time, I think it would be really cool if we could all do a round dance. So, for the townspeople, which is the nation that I'm from, we do round dance for community and a sense of being together. So if everyone can stand up. Everyone breath, hold hands. And it's all about community. All about community, and the song is, the beat is to the beat of the heart. And so we moving to the beat of the heart, please go. Step to the side of the beat. Yeah, so whenever you guys are ready. How about a Sundance song? So, watch it together.
Yeah.
see a cow strong dance.
One with the mother, we are one with the motherland. We are one with the mother. One with the mother, we are one with the motherland. We are one with the
fathers from the east are creating a new world for you.
Anyone want to share something? Christy, would you like to share something?
Okay. Sure I will, while I still have a voice.
This guy, look at him jump right in front of your stuff.
Oh, yes, I like
It's
that.
different days, it's temporary. Trust me. And, I'll take that silence so that I can really integrate and remember the remembrances
Let's see.
of the beauty of this gathering of hearts. There have been many, many openings
Well, no.
over these past few days.
I thought it was
Welcome home, all you relatives that have joined us for this first time of the year. Welcome home. Feel the love that's around you. Feel it. Feel it with every little particle in your bodies. The vibration is raising. You are shining brighter and brighter for being together. This is what you have come here for. You have come to love in this most profound way. By coming together, you are igniting each other and bringing healing to Mother Earth, bringing blessings to the children of the future, bringing men and women together to walk in balance. Children, are you happy?
Oh, yeah!
Then love and take it with you. Be kind. Beloved, shine that light, because it is when we all come together and we brighten like one shining star that all of humankind is. This is what the shift is. It is here and it is now. You are it. We are it. Because we are one and we are together. Ooh, Inakiai. Sanai Awai. Chenokia Enamahia. Love is all that there is. That's all there is. That's all there is. So let it into your life. Walk it, breathe it, and share it. Share it wherever you go. Because every moment is important. Everything is in place. So continue your work. Continue. Do it joyfully. Oh, second one. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Everyone.
It's really interesting because when I'm at home with the kids and driving them on, and you look up in the sky and you see those big blackbirds that fly together, I pull over and I say, kids, look, that's group consciousness. That's the way humanity once was and will be. And that if we all shifting birds right now, too many Hoosiers. But I think we got a rhythm. So beautiful because it's being this fun. So, thanks.
I have one more thing for us. Could we all join hands again, and including the camera people? And I want everybody to feel the person next to them, and I want you to start exchanging your heart chakras all the way around in a circle, all the way. And then once you feel that unison between us all, I want everybody to beam that straight on up to the heavens, okay?
Okay, Pinky.
You, Jim.
And exhibit your life.
I have a message that came in a little while ago. 6 months ago. And I said to Eagle and my sister Ginny, and we were talking, and she said, you know, there's so much good energy here, and each of us reside beautiful energy within us, and of course the water. So the water within us, where does it go? Everything about it is sacred. Our pee is sacred. Our ancestors used to pee outside, and they peed outside for many reasons. They peed outside because when they peed outside, the root systems, which are the memories, the trees, the plant life, receive our DNA. They receive our feeling. So when we pee outside, we get to the earth, our good feelings, which then the root system, the memories, go up to the tree, which of course is us. We're living trees, and goes up to the trees, and then it goes into the air. So the air then communicates with all of us, with each of us here, of course, even if we're not close to each other in body, we are in essence. So be sure, if you live in a city or a suburb where you might want to clean the jar and pour it out. And then it's fun because then you can run outside in the middle of the night. And when you peek in happy thoughts, because those messages are going out to so many relatives across the earth and saying, how's humanity doing? They haven't been reading us because our pee has been going through pipelines, usually linear pipes, and collecting with a lot of sewage. And it is not in a pure essence. So give a gift of yourself to Mother with beautiful thoughts. That's what we give back to creation. That's what we give back to the winged ones and the crawlers and the little insects. We give good thoughts. The trees give us oxygen. We give us thoughts. So, and also, there was a Sasquatch that came in this morning, and one of the messages was, be kind to nature, for there you'll be kind to yourself. And I said, oh, okay, thank you. And also, he said, Hallelujah. I said, what is love? Love is commerce that love is something. So we know the love is much more than what we're trained to think it is. And the more we give love, first of all, to ourselves, when we can externalize love too, just like we externalize our problems, we could do that. So when we go inward and give it to ourselves, and then understand what love is, they said, okay. So what is, simple is strength. And they said, it's a feeling. It's a good feeling. Hallelujah. 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 It says, good. So love is a good feeling. It's simple. It's a good feeling. We all hold good feeling. It's a good feeling. That's what it's simple. Love is a good feeling. Good feeling.
Okay, and back to the beans, so when you, back to the beans, now, have fun with the beans too, so when they're like, you can wiggle, and you can the napkin, those are messages. Those are messages to nature. My real fun here. I mean,
Oh, thank you.
I'm lucky enough to sign on. And, okay, there. Blah, 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 blah. I have the good fortune to live, outside of the mountain most of the time and have no plumbing. So I'm very lucky because I have this experience of peeing into the ground all the time. And every time it's like my presence goes deep. And then my presence goes out and around. And then it goes all the way up, like you said, to the trees. And there's this moment of complete awesome union just by being.
Speaking of sacred waters, I would love if we could all perhaps create the Cornwall symbol for protection. Right now in Colorado where we're standing, a lot of communities around here have banned fracking in their communities. And a lot of people are working to keep it off our public lands, but right now it's in court last week and this week to decide the powers that be, the powers that were. Right now, the question is whether our local communities have the right to ban fracking in our communities, or how to say in any other industrial activities or dangerous activities. So I would just like to pray for the waters. If we could all into the waters and for the elks, for all the beings who, this oil and gas. They want 50,000 wells in Colorado in the next 20 years. They want to turn this into an industrial wasteland. It will be a desert. So I would like to hear just cross out that possibility, that reality, and create, and claim ourselves into it on this side.
The Buffalo people say that the most powerful thing that we have is prayer. So at this time, we're going to utilize that, what she said about the water. And we're going to sing a song, or maybe 3 songs, and ask all of you to go in your heart and send a message out to the universe to add the spirit. All your spirits work on those that are not in your mind. The way that works is that when you go to sleep, there's a time when everybody dies, when your heart stops. And that's that moment that the spirit is able to put the thought, the feeling, the prayer into their hearts. Because at that time there's no good, no bad. So let's make that prayer, and we're going to sing a song, and send the prayers out. All your guys, that's why they're here. They're here to help you, to help all of us. So let's put them to work at this time. Amikakiti, na koyate na suchakuyate na kapitulo yate, wacheke na makwe, na brikana oyate na oyate na wacheke na okya. Now these relatives that come, these ones from the holy nations, and those from the star relatives, and those from and like you have asked, as a consciousness of spirit, they're going up and to do what you have asked and requested. Because you have prayed and you sang like birds of consciousness. And this is the time of unity. And this is the time of great miracles. And they ask you not to doubt your prayer. Believe in your stuff. So they're going out now. We're going to sing a song and all in this way of thank you. So this is what this is about. 12 miles. It is called the ocean of reality, the ceremony of remembrance. To remember that you are a guardian of the earth, of the fire, of the wind, and the waters of life. So being that this unity of prayer has been made, then the universe is going to answer because you are a representative of life and good feeling. So we're going to sing a thank you song. So you guys do that. You want to do that song first?
Yeah.
At this time, thank you. Jenny Berryhill, where are you? She has funny pants on, where's she at? Jen, could you come over here? Right over there, we'll go by the chairs, stand over there. Brian, could you go over there? And all the helpers that work with them, you know who you are. Could you go over there? Huh?
I just had it down on the message.
It's a contract. She'll get over it. We'll thank any Mark too. Anybody else that are over there running this, running that, doing this? Our live stream? So dance is one circle, stop there, everybody else can come and shake your hand.
Me first, me first, me first!
Yeah, right. When I lit him up once,
Thank
too,
everybody for coming. And to real and understand how important life is. And I want to thank all the speakers and those that came up to visit, because I want to share that I learned a lot from all of you these last 3 days, and I know I'm going to learn a lot more. And every speaker that was here, I listened, and there's a lot of things that they said that activated a lot of other things in me. So I want to thank you for that. And it reminded me of so much that I love, support, and I cherish, in my life. So I thank all the helpers of Jen, Brian, and those that did the Swift, the Rocks, Marshall, and I know I put Marshall through a lot of trauma. She's carrying Gamma Chandra about. So I come back to it. So I want to share something, and I've done this before, the first time I've heard this, and it comes from one of my friends, my co-op, is a medicine man named Steve Redbus. And he said something that confirmed something that I heard when I was small. I've seen a movie. And it's called The Song of Bernadette. And in this movie, this little girl, well, this is a true story. This little girl seen this lady, and eventually all the town, and pretty soon thousands of people came to see and witness and try to see what she was seeing. And it was so overwhelming. The newspaper got involved, and the religious people got involved. And they wanted a part of this, so they brought this little girl, and they said that she couldn't be seeing things, and they were trying to create some kind of doubt in her to make her stop, that she was seeing what she was seeing. But she was standing her ground with these priests. And one day, she told this priest that this woman was going to come a certain day. So this priest asked her, did this lady tell you her name? And she said, no. He said, why? She said, well, I didn't ask. I didn't ask. He said, when she comes this next time, could you ask her name? So when that time came, there's just like thousands of people came and she went to this little grotto and she was praying. And when everything was over, she went to that priest. And that priest asked her, did that lady tell you her name? She said, yes. So this little girl told this priest that this lady said, I am the Immaculate Conception. So I heard that when I was small, you know. And as I grew older, I learned a little bit because I grew up in a Catholic boarding school. And I learned that there was one other person that was called the Immaculate Conception, and you know who that is. So the church didn't like what this little girl said, because there was thousands of people that were standing with her. And they said they more or less coerced her to joining the convent, because they said that the people out there were going to make her crazy and she would end up in the insane asylum and some kind of institution. So they created that fear in her and they brought her in. And she stayed in that convent till she died. But all that time, there were reporters coming in asking her to recant what she had made about the Immaculate Conception. And even to her dying breath, they were over her. You know, they didn't care if she was dying at all. They wanted her to say that she was not the Immaculate Conception, but she said, no, I can't tell a lie. This is what the lady told me. So she died. To this day, her body is so pure. Her corpse, her body is just like she's still alive. You know, hasn't decayed at all. Zero. She looks just as beautiful as she was when she was alive. So what happened with this story, one day my friend come over. He said, Kula. He said, there's a lady came over last night. She wanted to know if the rosary. He said, I could tell you that. She said, no, because we have a sweat lodge. I want the spirit to tell me. So they had a sweat lodge. And the spirit come in and said, no, there's no power in the rosary. The power is in your heart. In your heart. That's where the power is. And then he said, it was not that man that died on the cross. It was his sister. There was a sister, and the government was after her. They murdered her. They killed her. So then I thought about this little one, the Immaculate Conception. And in my heart, I announced this, and I heard a lot of them go, to the doctor. And our ceremony spirit don't lie. It's about truth. And I know how our women folk are, and what happened these last 2,000 years about the lies, but it was about the women, about the women. The women wasn't this man. So, in all these times that we've done ceremony, we've done Starlight Contest, I've always asked the men to stand with their women and support their women, because the women stood with them the last 2,000 years. And look what we did. We screwed it up. Sorry, Jenny. So I wanted to share that with you, some of the truths that are hard sometimes because of the illusion that was created, you know. So we know because our guardianship is right here. Our leader is right here. The truth is right here. And the truth never lies. The heart never lies. So up here, they don't know what the hell's going on half the time, you know. So there's simple little things like how the Spirit said was that If you're grumpy, you're grouchy, you're bitchy and complaining, and you're mad, and you're angry, and all this stuff, you're in your head. So if you see each other like that, say, God, your head's doing it. If you're singing, dancing, you're happy, smiling, and all that, you're in your heart. See, there's total difference. The heart, sometimes you say, oh, my heart feels bad. It's impossible. Illusion, remember that. So I want to thank all of you, every one of you, from my heart, and for my companion. Come here, John. And Jenny, we were the base, this is the foundation. We started the first Star Knowledge Conference right here. And so they were with me when the star people came and they gave me these symbols and things, and I had never said anything, but they were the ones that actually gave them to me on their other aspects, their star aspects. And they've been with me ever since the first time we met until this time. So I want to thank them for their part in our growth. You know. Good job. For being there for all of us. You know. So, Vidama. We're going to do one more prayer before we go and ask Tukashla to watch over everyone. Ate o kataka Tukashla, ate do paruchimaka. Na petu kire wopila. Na petu yamini tikire iye gaya Tukashla. Na wichak petu amita na opia. Na wakaja kire makasi tonia na makiji jo wacheke. Na Tukashla. Joanita, ke tawachi na rita chana chante wakia, wakia na Tukashla, ke wopula ita. Amita kuroyase.